Podcast. Presented by XFL2K.com. With your host, Tron Hawkins.
Welcome to the first episode of This is the XFL Podcast. I'm Tron Hawkins. I am a football fan. A little bit about myself. I love football. I watch mostly NFL, a little bit of college, but NFL is my sport. But that downside of NFL is there's an off season, and I miss football in the off season. So I'm excited about the XFL. I know the Alliance American Football is coming. But XFL seems more like a pro league. There's pro cities that's been announced. So I'm excited. I was a teenager, preteen, when the first XFL came about. I was excited for that. I watched every week. And I remember the next year, not knowing it folded, waiting for the season to start, and it never did. And I missed it. I miss having that alternative to the NFL. So on this podcast, I'm going to be talking about the XFL. We're going to do sporadic shows for the next year or so until we get to the launch in 2020. I'll cover the draft. I'll cover when the teams get named, when the coaches get named, players get signed, stuff like that. I'll make a podcast. It's going to be sporadic for the next year or so. But come 2020, when the season kicks off, I'll be doing game previews, reviews, stuff like that. So I'm excited about this podcast. It's a new podcast. It's an idea I had for a podcast. Hope you enjoy. It's also having to coincide with today. The city's been announced. I'm going to talk about which 8 charter cities will be part of the revival of the XFL 2020. And kind of talk about what I think they're going to do with the divisions, and talk about all the stadiums that they have with each city. The first city is Dallas. Now, a lot of people complained about most of these cities already having teams. It's smart. Because not only do they have teams, there's already stadiums, there's already fan bases. Having 2 in Texas makes sense because Texas is hungry for football. They're the biggest football state in the country, to me. They come out for high school football like they do college and NFL. So, of course they're going to come out for the XFL, I think. This feels different from the original XFL. Oliver Luck being pretty much the guy in charge, not Vince McMahon. He knows his football. He wants to do this right. I think them having 2 years to get it right, now almost a year into it, I think it's smart. I think it's a good thing that they gave themselves time, not rushing into it like Alliance did, and like they did the first XFL. So, this one's interesting. I love the stadiums they picked out. Each one of them's got it's kind of crazy, and I'll go over it. The variety of seating arrangements for this. Each stadium holds a totally different amount of people. This one's the most interesting stadium, though. It's Globe Life Park. It was the former home, or going to be the former home of the Texas Rangers. The Texas Rangers, by 2020, will be moved into their new retractable roof stadium. So they're repurposing their baseball stadium as a football stadium, and they have a really nice stadium. It holds about 40,000 seats, more than 48,000. For this, though, for the XFL, by the time they do the yards and stuff, the field, it's going to hold about 25,000. It's right outside Dallas. I think it's a good spot. I understand they're not wanting to do Jerry World. There's always concerts, big events going on, boxing matches, stuff like that going on. Not to mention 100,000 seat stadium. We don't know what kind of crowd they're going to draw, so it would look kind of empty. I wish they did more soccer stadiums, because I think that'd be a little more visually pleasing and give a more intimate view for the fans there. But I think it's a good stadium. I think Dallas will, I think they'll come out for it. I think they will. The divisions look kind of simple, and I'll go over those in a minute. Obviously, Dallas is going to be in the Western Division. But again, I think it's a good choice. I think it's a good choice because, it's one of the biggest cities in America. It's money. So where the big cities are, you're going to have more people coming out. And Texas is a big football state. They love their football, and that's why they put 2 teams, and that's why the next team is Houston. I like that Houston got a team. Houston is known for having teams. The American Football League, the World Football League, all that, they had teams in Houston. So they've had teams there for a while. Again, it's the 4th biggest city in America, and they love football in Texas, and they're gonna be playing their football at TDECU Stadium. It's on the University of Houston campus. And the good thing is they are working with the college, and the XFL team will probably get to practice at the college's indoor practicing facility. This stadium is nice. It's a 40,000 seat stadium. It's modern. There's not a bad seat in the whole house. The field is visible from 2/3 of the surrounding concourses. I mean, it's crazy. This stadium, even though it's a college stadium, and there's also a stadium club that's 25 feet above the playing field. Not to mention that you don't have to worry about other teams playing there or anything like that. It's just a college stadium. So by February 2020, February 8th and 9th, that stadium's going to be clear. I think it's a good choice for a stadium. Of course, again, Reliant Stadium, they didn't want to do all NFL stadiums. Half the stadiums in this league will be NFL stadiums, technically, if you count Los Angeles's or current NFL stadiums. So I think it's interesting. These cities, the city choices are great. I'm really excited about St. Louis getting football back. They deserve it. I will talk about them in a few minutes. But I really like the city choices. A lot of people's going to complain that, NFL, there's all the NFL teams in those cities. But again, you want that established fan base. Not to mention, more hungry fans will be there because they're the fans that used to having football there. So they're going to want it back when it goes to offseason, the NFL. I'm pretty excited about this coming up, XFL. I mean, I really am. Like I said, I'll be making podcasts when the new rules come out, all that stuff. I'll be talking about it. But yeah, this is going to be a great time for football fans. Anytime you can get football is great to me. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about Dallas and Houston. You already got that built-in rivalry with Dallas and Houston. So, them two teams will be rivals come 2020 when the XFL kicks off. The next team who is going to be with Dallas and Houston in the Western Conference is Los Angeles. Of course, they're going to go to Los Angeles. Again, Los Angeles makes sense with New York and Houston, that big city, big money. They said, in the press conference that LA supports their sports teams. I agree to a certain extent. Rams and Chargers, not really. That's what kind of worries me, but they came from different places. This XFL team is going to beat Los Angeles' team from the get-go. They're going to play at StubHub Center, which is where the Chargers play at. It's a nice stadium, intimate. Like I said, I wish they did more of this, more soccer stadiums that's kind of intimate and giving the fans like they're on the field. StubHub only holds 30,000 seats. Like I said, I'll go over the seating arrangements and stuff a little bit later on in the podcast. It's on the California State campus in Domingos Hills. It's a nice little stadium. Like I said, they're used to holding Chargers games there, so they know how to convert it to from a soccer field to a football field. And and LA is going to be a good hot spot. I mean, you're going to have people that come out in LA just because it is a hotbed. California is another big football state, along with Texas and Florida, which we'll get to Florida here in a little bit. I think it's a good thing that LA is getting a team just because the money. They're going to expand at some point. If XFL takes off, they're going to have more than 8 teams. But to get to that expansion process, they got to make money. So they got to go to the places where they know they can make money. So I get it. I get why they're going to these big cities. Again, people's going to complain that these cities already have football. I think it's a great idea to go to these established cities and kind of work your way, to the Columbus, Ohio's, to the Detroit's, even to the Alabama, Huntsville, Birmingham, wherever you can get a team at. The next team, speaking of teams that are places that already have football teams, is New York. Again, people's gonna complain, but people forget New York already had an XFL team. The Hitmen, the New York, New Jersey Hitmen. We won't know the names of the teams and logos stuff till later on. Again, I will do a podcast on that. But they're playing at MetLife, and of course they are. MetLife's kind of like WWE's big stadium to go to in New York when they need to do a WrestleMania and stuff like that. They've already about to do 2 there. It's a nice arena. It's a nice stadium. I mean, it's the biggest stadium in the XFL. It holds about 82,000 people, or can. How many they will hold for the XFL, we'll see come February 2020. They already host the Giants and Jets. And they will host the XFL. They host 20 games per year in the NFL, more than any other stadium. That's crazy because they alternate weeks most of the time. They have hosted Super Bowls, has hosted WrestleMania 29, and will host 34, concerts and other sporting events. I mean, New York is the entertainment capital of the world. That's not LA. Like, LA and New York, the two big cities. Of course, you'll have a team there. They're going to be in the Eastern Conference, along with St. Louis, Tampa, and Washington. The West Conference is going to be Dallas, Houston, Los Angeles, and Seattle, which we'll get to in a little bit. I like how they got the division split up like that. Two divisions of 4, 10 games, 4 teams make the playoffs. It's half the teams make the playoffs. It's pretty exciting. Again, I'm ready for it to start in 2020. The next team, and the city that deserves probably one of them, is St. Louis. Since the Rams left, they kind of St. Louis got screwed. They offered Kroenke what he wanted. He wanted a new stadium. They would give it to him. He's like, no, I'm out of here. We're going to L.A. Which, I mean, the Rams have started winning since they went to L.A. The first season was kind of crap, but now they're, in position to be the 1 seed in the NFC. So St. Louis getting an XFL team, and I think it makes sense. I think it makes too much sense. They're going to play at the former dome that the Rams played in, the dome at America's Center. It's a nice arena. It's still a nice stadium. They host about 60,000 people. It's gonna be weird to see it back open again. That's just kind of been sitting there for concerts and stuff, but they haven't had no sports there, and for the last couple of years. So I think it's great that XFL kind of went, hey, St. Louis, bid for this, and they did. St. Louis is some of their government was like, look, we want another professional team here to take up space in the dome. We got this empty dome kind of sitting here most of the year. And they got it. 30 cities bidded on this. That's what a lot of people don't get. People think the XFL is going to fail, but people bidded on this. So there is interest there. There is interest from these 8 cities. That means there's 22 cities later on that could be Inspension teams. They're not the only ones that kind of bid on it. So I think it's a good thing that they did the bidding process. And for what cities do want it. And these are the 8 that I think wanted it the most. And I agree that they should get these teams. I'm ready to see if St. Louis comes out for this team, because the Rams, that was the Rams' problem. They didn't come out like they should. They didn't support the team like they should have. So we'll see. We'll see what happens in 2020. I'm ready to see all these team names and colors and just see people excited about it. I've seen some people making custom uniforms, the St. Louis Stallions, which sounds great, but we'll see. We'll see what the team names are coming up soon, and we'll see who's going to be the coaches, team presidents. Again, we'll talk all about that as it happens here on This is the XFL Podcast. Pretty excited about being with y'all. Just like the podcast, just a simple like, nothing major. I'm just a football fan. That's all I am, just a football fan, and I can't wait to get this going come 2020. The next team, which I think is the most surprising one, is Seattle. They're a football town, but it's not until recently. Seahawks wasn't a big deal until they got this new stadium. I didn't feel like. They had Warren Moon and Sean Alexander, but when they got this new stadium and started winning games, when they went to CenturyLink, which is where they're going to be at. It's one of the few NFL stadiums where they're going to be at. Again, can they fill it? That's going to be the key. I don't think they're going to fill it from the beginning, but they are, fans. They can fit over 68,000 in there. And they have the roof covering 70% of the area of the stadium because of rain. It always rains in Seattle. I think it's going to be a great spot for games. They have the loudest fans. I'm wondering if they're going to put that into the name. Just something like the Seattle Quakes, Beast Quakes, since they like making earthquakes with their sounds. So I'm wondering if that's going to be one of the team names. I'm ready to see the team names and logos. I think it's going to be very interesting. That's one of the best parts about the original XFL was the team names and the logos and all that stuff. It's going to be fun. This is going to be a fun league, quick league. It's going to have fewer rules. I mean, it's going to be exciting. It's going to bring football back to the fans. It's going to be high scoring, I think. Less penalties, less politics. Hopefully more even playing field, not just the Patriots against whoever comes out in the NFC like it is in the NFL. So I'm hoping to see these teams really compete with each other and not being so one-sided all the time. So Seattle's going to be in the West. Like I said, Dallas, Houston, LA. Seattle's one division. New York, St. Louis, Tampa Bay, Washington, D.C. will be the other. The next team is Tampa. I get why they're in Tampa. again, they can't really do Orlando stuff because of the way the Alliance of American Football kind of went in and got these non-football cities. They beat them to the punch. That's fine. They only put a league together in 11 months. XFL's got 2 years, and they got football minds behind it. So I think that XFL can succeed. Like Oliver Luck said, it's built to last. And look, Vince McMahon didn't put $500 million of his own money into this to fail again. Tampa's playing at Raymond James Stadium. It's one of the nicer stadiums, the pirate ship and everything. It's been called the crown jewel of the NFL. It can hold 65,000 people. Has a cannon and all that good stuff. I'm wondering what kind of team name they're going to look for it. Maybe in the Tampa Bandits, kind of like the old American Football League did. I think Tampa's a good spot. Florida is one of those football hotbeds. I think they will succeed in Tampa. I think it's a good stadium choice. It's a nice stadium. They're going to be in the Eastern Division, like I said, with Washington, New York, and St. Louis. And come 2020, I think fans will come out in Florida because it's warm that time of year. It ain't cold weather, even if it's February, March, April. It's going to be warm in Tampa. And I think people will come out and watch football because football makes people want to come out. Florida, like I said, is a hotbed. They're going to find some good talent down there, I do believe. The next place and the last one, last but not least, is Washington, D.C. This one's actually going to be great because it's in the nation's capital and it's got the newest stadium of the bunch. It's Audi Field. Is a soccer stadium. It only has 20,000 seats, but it has, like an intimate feel. All these stadiums are kind of high-tech. Especially this one. This is the coolest stadium of the bunch. It's smaller, but it's just high class, and it's only been open for a year. So by the time, they open in 2020, it'll only be a 2-year-old, 3-year-old stadium. So it has some of that newness to it. It's intimate. It's small. I wish they did this for more of the stadiums. So having this big, huge football stadium, they have these small soccer stadiums. I like how there's a baseball stadium, a football stadium, football stadiums, and then football stadiums. I like the wide variety of all the venues that they picked for the XFL. I think if you want to do fans first, having an intimate setting like that is going to make it that way. So that is all the cities and venues. Let's go over this right quick. The seating. Globe Life Park, where Dallas is going to be at, 25,000 capacity. Houston can hold 40,000. At TDECU Stadium. The StubHub Center can only hold 27,000. MetLife is the biggest, 82,500 people, and it's not even close. The Dome in St. Louis can hold 66,965. Ginger Lake can hold 69,000. Raymond James Stadium can hold 65,518. And Audi Field can hold 20,000. So you got two stadiums that can only hold 20,000 or so. Three stadiums can hold 20,000. The thing about the Arlington one that holds 25,000, that's just how they're building it by the time they make it into a football setup. So right there, that's a wide range of capacities. So it's kind of going to be interesting how much they think, what is profitable. Will half the crowd in New York be more profitable than, say, 20,000 in DC? They say they're going to do cheaper ticket prices, going to be more family friendly. And I'm ready for the XFL to start. Thank you for joining me on this quick little podcast I did today, going over the cities and venues. Like I said, when more news comes out, I'll be making more podcasts. And then come 2020, I'm going to be on here all the time during the XFL season. Please give it a like. I'm just one man. I'm not trying to make money off this. I just love football, and I want everybody to enjoy the XFL. A lot of people think it's going to fail. And my question is, why would you want it to fail? Why would you want a league that is going to be fun and just alternative to fail? It's not competing with the NFL. Like, why choose NFL or XFL? And they're two totally different things, two totally different times. Why does people want this to fail? Is it because Vince McMahon? Is it because it's something new? Give it a chance. There's nothing wrong with more football. Let's have an extremely fun league. Thank you for joining me today. And when I hear some more news, team names, logos, team presidents, coaches, players being signed, a draft, I will be back here on this Anchor and on hopefully Apple Podcasts and those other podcast sites. But this is the XFL Podcast. Thanks.